Welcome back to Middle Earth. We're playing War of the Ring, 2nd edition. Things are heating up. We got to get Frodo and the Fellowship to Mount Doom, destroy the ring. That's the idea anyway. And of course the forces of Sauron are amassing. All the nations of our enemy now are at war. This is not good. So we're going to begin, of course. First thing we do is we're going to have the first phase, which is recover action dice and draw event cards. So we're going to do that right now. Alright, so we're going to recover our action dice. So these were the action dice played by Sauron forces last turn. These were the 4 played by the Fellowship, Free Peoples, and 2 more coming out of the box. So I'm leaving this token here, of course, because Sauron's going to have to put at least 1 die in the hunt box. Okay, that is gathering up our dice. And now we draw 2 event cards. So I'm going to do, of course, the hidden for Sauron forces. We will be taking a look at the 2 cards we're going to be drawing for the Fellowship, which will be the Free Peoples right now. Okay, the 2 cards we drew, leadership card, strategy card for Free Peoples is Horn of Gondor and Dane Ironfoot's Guard. Horn of Gondor, play on the table if Boromir is in the Fellowship, which he is. After the Shadow player draws a hunt tile, you may discard Horn of Gondor to reduce the hunt damage by 1 to a minimum of 0. Any remaining hunt damage must be confronted normally. Cool. It says you must immediately discard this card from the table if Boromir leaves the Fellowship. Also has a mighty attack ability. Play if a companion is in the battle. Before rolling the dice for your leadership re-roll, forfeit the leadership of 1 companion participating in the battle to automatically change 1 missed die roll to a hit. I like that one. And of course, a companion is one of the Fellowship that has left the Fellowship. Dane Ironfoot's Guard, recruit 1 dwarven unit, regular or elite, and 1 dwarven leader in Erebor, which is to the far north of the board, or Valor. Play if the Free People's elite unit is in battle. Add 1 to the dice roll on your combat roll. And you might have noticed the little numbers in the bottom left corner of the cards. Those are initiative numbers, if you want to call it, because if both the Sauron player and the Free Peoples play a card, and you're wondering which one of them triggers first, the lower number will trigger first. And I believe if there's a tie, I think the attacker's triggers first. So I'm pretty sure that's how that works. All right, that's going to take care of our action die and draw event cards. Next is the Fellowship phase, where the Free People's player may declare the position of the Fellowship, or we can change leaders if we want. So let's go ahead and think about that. Alright, so it's the Fellowship phase, and I'm not going to declare the location of the Fellowship because they're only 2 spaces on the track away from Rivendell, and we want to keep them hidden for the moment. I'm also not going to change the leader of the Fellowship. We're going to leave it as Strider, and that's going to take us then right into the hunt allocation phase, where the Sauron player is going to put hunt allocation dice into the Hunt for the Ring box. Alright, so the Sauron player has got lots of armies in the board. He's only going to put 1 die in the box. And he must put at least 1 because the Fellowship moved in the last turn. So they have to put at least 1 in there, but that's all they're going to put in there. And that takes us right to the action roll. So we're going to roll the action dice, and we're going to see what results show up. Alright, we'll start with the Sauron player. He's got 6 dice to roll, and we're going to see what he's going to end up with. And he ends up with a whole bunch of stuff. No more eyes, though, for the hunt. And now we're going to see what the Free People rolls. They got 4 dice, and what do they get? Ooh, lots of event. Lots of event deck die, and 1 of the character dice. Alright, that's it. So we will, of course, start with the Free Peoples can go first, or they can defer to the Sauron player to go first. I think the Free Peoples player is going to go first. So we're going to zoom down on their dice. I'm going to decide which one they're going to use and what action they're going to take. All right, I think it's pretty obvious what we're going to do. We're going to use the character die. We're going to try to move the Fellowship and hope they do not get caught by the forces of evil. All right, so let's get the dice tray out. The Sauron player has one die in the hunt pool. He's going to be rolling one die, and if he rolls a 6, he's going to find the Fellowship, or we're going to draw a tile out of the bag, basically. All right, the Sauron player has one die in the hunt pool, and the Fellowship is trying to move. So they're going to roll one die, and we're going to see what they get. And they get a 2. We're lucky again, which means the Fellowship has not been found by the Sauron's forces, and that's going to go into the box now. The Fellowship tries to move again this turn. They're going to roll one die, but this time they get a +1, so they don't need a 5 or a 6. All right, we dodged it, which means, I forgot, we have to move the Fellowship track 1 as well. All right, so far so good. We're going to move the Fellowship track 1 space to 3. So now we're 3 spaces away from Rivendell somewhere. And the Sauron player doesn't know where. What's nice, if we can get to Lorien, which is 5 spaces away, we can declare ourselves there. And that would be a good thing. But over we go now to the Sauron player for them to play one of their action dice. Well, the Sauron player sure has a lot of options this turn. He's got a Palantir event card sign. He's got Muster Army, 2 of them. He's got Muster, an Army, and a character die. He is going to use first the Army die, which means he can move any 2 armies on the board. And every one of Sauron's forces now are at war, so they can cross borders. They can go pretty much anywhere they like. So, Army die, we're going to move 2 armies. So let's get to the board for Sauron and get him moving them. And it looks like the Sauron player is moving his forces out of Dol Guldur. So he's going to move this entire mass of 5 regular units, 1 elite, and a Nazgul from Dol Guldur into Dimril Dale? South Anduin Dale. Sorry about that. Getting ever closer to Lorien. And that's 1 movement, and then they're going to move from Moria to Dimril Dale, the 2 regular units. So that was 2 army movements. Looks like Sauron's got plans to close in on the elves. And that's going to be the action for Sauron player. Back we go now to the Free Peoples. All right, well, we have 3 of the event die Palantir dice for the Free Peoples, so we will indeed spend 1 of them, and we will play an event card. And the event card we're going to play this one here, which is Mithril Coat and Sting. It says play on the table, so this is going to kind of be like a remains in play. It says after the shadow player draws a hunt tile, you may discard Mithril Coat and Sting to draw a second tile. Apply the effects of the second tile instead of the first one, then return the first tile to the hunt pool. So that's kind of if we really draw a bad tile, like if we get into Mordor and we pull the Shelob's tile where we have to roll the 6-sided die and stop moving, we can pull another one. So this is going to be remains in play. I'm going to use one of my one of my card holders for the remains in play cards and have them sitting out here somewhere on the map, so I try not to forget that they are in play. That was Free People's turn. Now we go back to Sauron. And the Sauron player still has 5 dice left. They are going to use their character die right now, and they're going to move 1 army that has a leader in it. So let's get to the board and see what they're going to do with that. And back we go to Mordor. So we're going to take this army right here with the Nazgul with the leader, and it's going to move in here. So basically we're going to have 10 units now in here, North Ithilien, and we also now have a Nazgul down here with 10 in South Ithilien. Minas Tirith here and the Men of Gondor should be getting nervous. Alright, we still have 2 event die left to play. Obviously, we can either draw an event card or play an event card. We're going to play an event card. So that's what we're going to do. And the event card we're going to play is the Horn of Gondor. And the Horn of Gondor says, play on the table if Boromir is in the Fellowship. Boromir is in the Fellowship at the moment. After the Shadow player draws a hunt tile, you may discard Horn of Gondor to reduce the hunt damage by 1 to a minimum of 0. Any remaining hunt damage must be confronted normally. And we have to immediately get rid of this if Boromir leaves the Fellowship. So that's another card in play. So now we have Mithril Coat and Sting and Horn of Gondor. Up next, back to the Shadow player. Alright, the Shadow player is going to use a straight muster die. And with that, he is going to be bringing on one of his minions. So let me get the card out, and we'll see what the Shadow player is up to. And it looks like the Shadow player is bringing Saruman into play. So let's take a look at the Saruman card and see what it has to say for itself. And this, of course, is the figure for Saruman, which will be going over to Orthanc shortly. It says, if Isengard is at war, yes it is, and Orthanc is unconquered, which it is, not conquered I mean, you may use one muster action die, which we are, result to place Saruman in Orthanc. Saruman cannot leave Orthanc. Alright, what benefits does this give? Well, first of all, it's going to give another die to the Sauron player. It's not going to be taking effect this turn, but it will be part of the pool for next turn as long as Saruman is still in play. So we're going to take that die and add it to the used pool at the moment. So now the forces of Sauron are going to have 8 dice next turn. Okay, he has the voice of Saruman. As long as Orthanc is under your control and not under siege, you may use a muster action die to recruit one regular Isengard unit in every Isengard settlement, and there's 3 of them. Or what else? Every regular settlement. Or you can replace 2 regular Isengard units in Orthanc with 2 elite units. And we have Servants of the White Hand. And each Isengard elite unit is considered to be a leader as well as an army unit for all movement and combat purposes. So the Warg Riders are going to become leaders. All right, let's keep this available so we know that Saruman's in play. I will have to try and figure out where to put all these things because this is a big game. I have some limited space issues here. So let's get Saruman in Orthanc. And here we have Saruman showing up in Orthanc with his Uruk-hai and Warg Rider now. So there he is. He can never leave there, but with the special abilities he has, that's some pretty nasty stuff. So there you have it. Saruman in play. And I do have filming restraint issues for today, so I think I'm going to leave the episode off here. We still have 1 event die left for the Free People's, 3 dice left for the Saruman player, but I'm just going to zoom out and wrap up for the episode for today, and we'll pick it up in the next episode after this one. Oh my, things are getting ugly. The forces of Sauron there's 20 units now there, encroaching on the men of Gondor. We now have Saruman in play. With his Uruk-hai and Warg Riders amassing in Orthanc. And if we look even farther to the north here, I guess it was still in camera, we have now Dol Guldur and Moria vomiting out units heading their way, it looks like, towards Lorien. So lots of bad stuff coming up for the Free Peoples as far as battles go. But so far, we've managed to get the Fellowship 3 spaces away from Rivendell. So that's at least something. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. Really appreciate it. This is War of the Ring. Very complicated Lord of the Rings trilogy game, but it's my favorite Lord of the Rings game by far second behind or ahead of Quest for Middle Earth, which is my second favorite Lord of the Rings game. All right, so thanks so much, and we'll see you in the continuing episodes. Hopefully, I'm getting them up one a day, but I may not be able to do that. So if you see a day or two delay between episodes, it's just because I haven't had the time to get them up. So I hope you're enjoying it, and yeah, things in Middle Earth heating up. Sauron may be looking for a military victory the way he's been building up his forces. I don't know. We got to run that ring to Mount Doom and toss it in the crack of doom. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.